What's up, everybody? Matt Gajewski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel. Today, we're talking some college football prize picks ahead of conference championship weekend. We'll talk Saturday. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. And of course, we are brought to you by PrizePicks. They have a first match deposit bonus up to $100 when you click the link in the video description below, and they're giving you one free month of Stochastic Plus. We'll talk about them more throughout the program here. So let's dive right in. Short slate. We only have 8 games on Saturday. We're going to be talking about those specifically. So we will kick things off with a 3-legger here. And Alan Bowman under 250 passing yards is going to be the first one we talk about. This one's a little scary, but mathematically, I had a lot of trouble getting this even close to 250 passing yards. You really have to finesse some things like pass rate and pace to get him even near like 230. And this stems from the team total that Oklahoma State has at 19.5 points. I mean, this game only has a 54.5 total, which might seem a little low, but Oklahoma State is still a 15.5 point underdog. When you're expected to score 19.5 points, you're just not expected to put up a lot of yards. And like to cross-reference this, Ollie Gordon's projected for 100 rushing yards, just above that. Something doesn't add up here. So to me, when you're facing Texas, probably the best defense this Oklahoma State team has faced maybe all year, honestly, and you have Bowman, who's already non-efficient. We're talking about 6.8 yards per attempt, completion percentage in the mid-60s. I mean, this just straight up doesn't get us to 250 yards. Like, you would really need, I think, either Oklahoma State to get killed and them to pass like 70% of the time, or just a rogue game script where this maybe flips and Oklahoma State is neutral or leading against Texas, which doesn't seem likely here. So, I mean, just straight up 19.5 point implied team total does not mathematically add up to 250 passing yards, along with Ollie Gordon getting close to 100 rushing. Second one, we'll go over Kendall Milton rushing 55.5 yards. Again, thin margins this week because we do not have a full palette of games. So this one, the downside is Kendall Milton is in a tough matchup. Bama is the toughest defense Georgia has faced all year. With that said, Georgia is still a 5.5 point favorite over Bama. The total is 55.5 points. So we are expecting production. And Milton has recently worked his way ahead of Dawan Edwards. And I think this is sticky. He's been extremely efficient overall. We have 18 carries to Dawan Edwards, 14 last week. The game prior, he also outcarried Dawan Edwards, 14-11. Prior to that, it had been close to a 50-50 committee. So when we look at efficiency for these two players, I don't see any reason this is at worst a 50-50 committee. At best, maybe you see Kendall Milton with like a 60-40 edge over Dawan Edwards because the efficiency's been there. And to look back even further, earlier in the season, we were expecting Kendall Milton to lead this backfield. He just got hurt. So I think now he's getting healthier. Coaching staff has been vocal about that. We can go over 55.5 yards with Milton in this game. Last one's a greasy one. We're going over Jacob DeJesus, 28.5 passing yards. Interesting one. He's the wide receiver 2 for UNLV. To dive into this one, game environment is probably the best just for scoring in all of conference championship weekend. Total 61, spread is 2.5 in favor of Boise. Boise has an atrocious defense. They're allowing 8.5 yards per pass attempt. They're outside the top 100 in pass coverage. They're not good against the run either, but they are very weak when you look at this team in terms of pass defense. So Ricky White's the alpha for UNLV. We know this. Behind him, Jacob DeJesus has emerged as the wide receiver 2 and pretty clearly. Seneca McKee played a handful of snaps last week. And DeJesus, his route share jumped above 70%, which is something we haven't really seen for him. He now has back-to-back games with 7 targets apiece. If DeJesus has a 70% route share and sees 7 targets for the 3rd straight week, he's going over 28.5 yards. This yardage number isn't even close to his season average, which is interesting. He averages 37.8 receiving yards per game this year, and he's been playing a part-time role. So now we have him projected at 28.5 yards against a horrible defense in a full-time role. Unless something changes here, I mean, he's going over this number. So these are the 3 we will target. Going to place this as a power play, which means we need all 3 correct, and it will pay out 5x. But if you wanted to, We do have an insurance play. It's called a flex play on PrizePicks. You need to get 2 out of 3 correct. That'll pay you 1.25x. But if you do get all 3, it'll still pay 2.25x. Feeling good about this one. So we're just going to go the full power play with our props. If you have a comment, please leave it below. If you have a question, reach out on Twitter at Matt_Gajewski. Otherwise, thank you for watching. We will catch you guys again for bowl season. We'll see you later.